on a weekly basis, and they try to get answers to questions. But one person comes from Grand Cove and wants cameras put on the walkway, and they get it, to a large expense to the borough. As I said before, and I've spoken to a few of my neighbors, we all seem to agree that that's a sidewalk. And we have issues on our sidewalks also, but yet we don't have security. One person from one complex, no conversation, she gets cameras. We have to wait weeks for answers, weeks for answers. So you see how inequitable it seems. You see how people don't like the fact that it's 5 minutes. There should be a bit of a dialogue. There should be some answers. And one person comes from, I don't know, what is it, Legend Hills? They think they have radiation. You take a special trip up there. Again, I'm glad to see that Mr. Pagnozzi cleaned the grass off at 379. It seems like, you know, in our neighborhood, he doesn't give a damn. Up by you, on the end of River Road, in the corner of North, he keeps that property nice. Of course, the ones on the other end of town, I guess it depends on how he would use his property, if he has subsidized housing in it, whether or not he decides to take care of it. While we're at it, 410, 416, 418, 422 Undercliff, they're a mess. Helene drives by every single day. The next thing I'm going to do is Oprah how many tickets she's given out. Because if she's not giving out tickets and if she's not generating fines and my neighborhood looks like a ghetto, she's not earning her salary. We don't need her. We don't need her. We used to have code officers that walked the beat and did their job. Delia used to stagger her schedule and know who was walking their dog when, and she used to make a point of going after people. There were people in the past that wore a uniform, walked the beat, and did their job. She's got to get out of the car. She can't drive by every day and allow my neighborhood to look like a ghetto. As to 63 Edgewater Place, the plywood house, you don't go after the lien holder. You go after the owner, who is Roxana Prito, as according to the tax roll list. She has a P.O. Box 347 in Edgewater, New Jersey. Let's do something about that property. Let's put a lien on additional lien on the property. Clean it up. You knocked Barbara Squire's house down in 24 hours. You made her pay 25 grand, and you know the poor woman had to leave town. Meantime, this thing has been standing there for 2 years. I'm done with it. I'm done. I mean, I'm going to take it to the next level. Something has to be done. I live in a ghetto. I'm tired of it. 33 Hilliard Avenue, the old post office. Somebody moved the carpet, but it still looks like crap. Now, you go around to these people, and if they're receiving any kind of housing or any kind of subsidy in their homes, tell them they better start taking care of their homes, otherwise they don't get that granted anymore. I know personally someone in the audience's daughter who went through hell to have her house inspected. But yet these people can let their properties look like crap between Garden and Hilliard Avenue. And I'm done with it. I'm really done with it. Something has to be, we all, although we don't pay all the same taxes, because as I went through the list tonight, I saw as we were reassessed in 2011, most of us were on the level of between 15 and 20% deduction in assessment, lowering of the assessment. Please, the colony, they got away with murder. On average, they're what, paying $700, $800 per lot in the colony? These people have a view. Now they're getting slips. You have the ex-mayor of Edgewater who just picked up a piece of property on the east side of River Road with a view, amenities, gatehouse. His house went down in value. We have a councilman who was reduced 30% value in order to, the value go. How come my house only 15%? How come a councilman's house goes down 30% when we're being reassessed? I went into Carlson's office a year ago and asked for my taxes to be reduced. He laughed me right out the door. Meantime, he's just granting everyone without authorization, without documentation, and we're losing money left and right. I don't, you've heard this before. You've heard this before. We're bleeding. And you keep going to the same trap. And by him knocking down all these taxes for these developers or these corporations, who do you think's bearing the brunt of it? The average, 1 and 2 family homeowner on the other side of the street. It's not fair anymore. It's not fair. I got a family to support. I have a kid to put through college, and I'd like to see him, do better than I did. It's not going to happen at this rate. I don't know if you watch the news lately, but I've said this before. The whole world is suffering. The whole world is suffering. We could have Occupy Edgewater here real soon. But again, where are the answers to the questions? Can somebody get up now and say that they yield their 5 minutes so that you can answer the questions? Is that a possibility? Is that within the rules? I'd like a couple of answers to the questions. We never get an answer. Last week you said you'd answer, about 2 weeks ago, whatever, it wasn't the work session. I didn't get any answers. I didn't get any answers at the work session. I'm still waiting for answers. I'd like a couple of answers. You know, the fact that, what's his name, cleaned up his grass, that's wonderful. But in the meantime, you know, we're bleeding. We're bleeding. And say that we're going to save, he says 30 grand a year for, what, 9 years? Big deal. Big deal when you lost 500 on City Place, and big deal when we gave, you know, the store to the pound. Big deal. We need answers. Can we get them?
Sure.
Because you get when?
I'll do my best to answer.
When? No, I want it now. No, I want some answers now. People will yield their time.
Oh, you
I
don't
don't
yield my time.
They will.
You got 10 minutes.
They will. Jim, it's not fair. I'm a hardworking American citizen, and I walk around the block, and it's a horror. You know, Mr. Jordan wrote his wonderful letter about Mr. Christie to the paper, and though I agree with many of his sentiments, you know, I'm happy to see he's here tonight, but he sits on a council that oversaw tax dollars go out the window. Apparently, he's a rich guy that doesn't care, and writes, a letter to relieve his conscience once in a while to Bergen. Why didn't he put doctor on it, or the fact that he was a councilman, I don't know. Maybe he's not proud of that, but I wish he would have included that on his letter.
Man, that's long.
Thank you.
Can we get some answers?
Try my
Thank
best.
you.